Hello there. Hola, hola.
What's up, hon? How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, good evening. I'm sure it's more evening than afternoon. And
Yes.
morning somewhere, some other part of the world. What show are we on now? A ver, Agustin, what show are we on?
We are on the face of a hero.
Yes, and
Way
we
from Northwest Indiana and Chicago.
Chicagoland area. Thank you for joining us here today. And of course, all the different platforms that we are here live. And we are just blessed with an awesome guest today. And I want to say hello to everyone that is new to our program, to our wonderful show, The What? Face of a Hero. And who is our hero today? I was saying.
We have a hero. Her name is Miss Sheila George.
Miss Sheila George.
Yes, you're going to hear quite a bit about her. Quite a bit. I'm reading her bio and I am fascinated. Fascinated.
And the thing about it is that many times we see people doing things out there, but not really know up to what magnitude they're doing things and for how long they've been out in the community.
Absolutely.
Really making a difference. So should we keep her waiting any longer, Agustin?
Nope. I want to talk to her. I want to
bring
talk
her
to her.
up.
I'm sure everybody wants to hear about her.
That's right. That's right. So without further ado, Miss Sheila George is in the house.
Yes. Yes.
How are you, Miss Sheila?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on our show. And today you are being celebrated because it is Women's History Month. And let me just say to our audience, Miss Sheila George has been making history for quite some time. And we're going to find out how long that has been. And it's just great to have been part of this wonderful organization, which is how I got to even get to know her more and the things that she do in the community to truly make a difference. She is, what do we say? Be the change you want to see. Well, that is Miss Sheila George. And so I want to celebrate you today, Miss Sheila. I appreciate all that you do in the community, for the community. And you know, I just ran across a picture of Auntie and Uncle.
Oh, yeah. I miss her so much.
Yeah. I was like, wow. And Agustin's like, what are you talking about, Auntie and Uncle? Uncle Ed and Auntie. You know, Auntie Annie, she used to walk in the bank back in the day, 2007. And she'd walk in and always with a beautiful big smile. And this is Sheila's aunt and uncle, right? So I adopted them as my aunt and uncle.
That's right.
So I got to meet Miss Sheila George, part of her family, and of course her husband Robert. Shout out to Robert as well. Robert. You know, Robert has patience, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
and you know what? Whoever has a person as busy as you and the things that you do in the community has to have love for what you do, but most of all, patience as well. So I got to give credit where credit is due as well. So guys, you've been waiting for this moment. Miss Sheila George is an amazing powerhouse. And so she is the executive director and also the founder of Multicultural Wellness Network here in Northwest Indiana. And well, first of all, tell us a little bit about you, Miss Sheila. Where are you from?
Well, I am from East Chicago, Indiana.
Right.
Born and raised. A lot of my family is still there. I have family all over the country, but I do have a lot of family still in East Chicago. Have been moved in Maryville when I got married. So I've been out here 30 some years. So,
wow. But
from East Chicago.
So shout out to our East Chicagoans out there.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sheila, do you work?
No.
You know, when you love what you do, it's not really work, is it?
Well, you know, and that's exactly what my husband always says. She doesn't work. Yeah, I do. I work hard. But I just want to say this too, Eve. You know, I love you so much. And the only reason I came on this program is because of you, because this is not something I do.
No, I know it's not.
And you know that.
Nope. She's like, I normally would put someone else to speak on my behalf instead of me. And I said, but then I'm not celebrating the hero if it's not you.
Well, thank you, Sheila, for coming on.
I like to be I like to be in the background. That's me always.
Yes,
But I
she does.
appreciate, I do appreciate what you're doing and what you've been doing for all these years, Eve. You are a powerhouse yourself. So
She sure is.
yes,
Thank
I
you.
know.
She is.
Sheila's seen me in action.
I know.
Maybe too much. But this show is about you, Sheila. The whole world needs to know all the beautiful things that you've done in the community and why. Tell us about you. How were you when you were a kid? Were you involved, or when did you start getting involved in the community?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was involved. I worked a lot with the Red Cross and just I remember I remember especially with the Red Cross, they used to have a class, a training class for babysitting.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that? A
Wow.
training class for babysitting way back in the day. And I used to work for Red Cross and do different things. And I just always felt like I wanted to help. I always wanted to help. I always wanted to do something, felt like I'm being of service. And so that's where I started way back when, is working as volunteering for the Red Cross.
I wondered what really got you to start bringing awareness as to donating.
Well, now that's a different story.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I want to know.
That's a different story.
You've been, a servant leader in the community. You've been serving, bringing awareness, working with the Red Cross. But what's that story? Come on, share with us.
Okay, so the story about working with organ and tissue donation started back in 1995 or 6. I was still working at the hospital. I used to work at Ingalls Hospital in Illinois. And I remember a friend of mine, she came to me and said, Sheila, we're having a meeting today about organ donation. I said, okay. And she says, you really should go. Now, this was a really good friend of mine. She's Caucasian. And she said, it affects minorities more than any, Black and brown people more than anybody else. I said, really? Is that right? So she went on, and she was a nurse. She went on to tell me and talk to me and tell me, the different things. And so I did. I ended up going. So I went to this meeting at the hospital because they were creating a committee regarding organ and tissue donation at the hospital. So I ended up joining that committee. And after I talked to them and heard everything they were saying, I said, wow, my grandmother's on dialysis. Everybody in my family has high blood pressure. I know I have so many family members with diabetes. I said, why did I not know this before? And so from there, I just really got involved with it.
Wow. And you really are involved with it. Now, did it come to a moment where you were like torn between two lovers, meaning torn between something that you were needed in the community, but you were also needed in something else or somewhere else? Has that ever happened to you?
No, not with this. That never had. No. It's funny how when you start doing something and you really feel like this is what you're supposed to be doing. And that's how it felt after a few years of working with this. So now I worked, before I started with MOTTEP, which is Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program. Before I started with them, I was working with an organ procurement organization out of Chicago. And we had a task force, and I was on that task force. And then I ended up starting a local chapter in South Suburban Illinois, and which is still my understanding is still going on now. But in 1999, Reverend Burns, Peace Baptist Church from Gary, was over the local MOTTEP program. And he wanted to step down. So I had been working along with him and some other people out of Illinois. He's from Indiana. And he just approached me and asked me if I would be interested in taking over the program. And I said, yes, I would. So that was in 99. So the program came to Indiana in 1995. So he was over the program from 95 to 99. I took over in 99 and have been with the program since.
You've been running with it, I'll tell you. You have been running with it. And, you know, I'm not involved directly anymore. In being in part of this board with Sheila was a lot of work. She's absolutely right. A lot of work, especially when it was time to do the gala and inviting recipients and donors to this dinner to celebrate pretty much them, right? And the reason why this organization existed. So, being that, I do want to say that it influenced me to even really put myself out there to say, I'm an organ donor. I became a blood donor, a plasma donor. And I learned a lot of the information that Ms. Sheila George has really put out there in kiosks, medical facilities, clinics, things like that. And I think you have Spanish material too, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. And we just cannot have enough information on how to really take care of ourselves. What is the biggest disease that's really big and in the Black and Brown community? What's the biggest one or
Well,
the top?
you know what, it's so many, but as related to organ donation, it's diabetes is number one and hypertension is number two. Those are the two main reasons people need kidney transplants. That's the most needed organ, kidney. And one of the things that once I took over the MOTTEP program, I ended up starting, that's why I founded Multicultural Wellness Network. That was one of the reasons I did, is because I needed a 501c3, because the MOTTEP program is a national program housed in Howard University in Washington, D.C. At the time, we had 11 other sites. We're down to 7 sites now. And so we needed a way in order to keep the program here and operate the program and raise funds for the program. So I ended up adopting the Multicultural Wellness Network. We started in 2000, June of 2000. And the reason for it is because prevention is the key to anything.
Absolutely.
So we really wanted to, and with the MOTTEP program, people always thought we talked about wanting people to donate their organs. Yes, we did, but we also talked about preventing the need, which is very important. And people don't seem to understand that if we prevent the need, we wouldn't have all these issues. But, you know, it's going up. It is better. When I say better, I mean especially in the minority community. The one good thing is we do donate more. We donate more now. So that has increased since we've been doing this. This definitely has been an increase in seeing Black and Brown people donate, which is very important.
It is very important. I just have a question, and I was seeing if you want to jump in, do that as well. And for those of you that are watching, this is The Face of a Hero, and we have a special guest, none other than Miss Sheila George. She is the executive director and founder of Multicultural Wellness Network, making a difference. She is truly a hero because it takes what she does to get us. It's like shaking us. Come on, pay attention to this. This is important. But Sheila, did something occurred in your family or in you where it really got you to be more interested in bringing this type of awareness? Or is it that you saw more in your family? Tell us about that.
I saw more in my family. You know, I look at my family, and high blood pressure is very prevalent on my dad's side and my mom's side, both sides. And my next cause that I've been working toward is Alzheimer's. Very big in my family, very big. I've had 3 deaths, including my sweet aunt Anna, you know. And so it's very important that we pay attention. A lot of times we don't pay attention until it occurs in our families. And that is one of the things I talk about so much with when it comes to organ donation. When you're asking people to donate and you're talking to them, and then they're running from me like I'm getting ready to do surgery right now, you know, and I just really want to give you some information so that you can have resources, so that if it comes to that point in your family or your community, someone you love, that you know what to do for them. And, you know, it's just important that people keep an open mind when it comes to this, and not say, well, you know, it's not in my family. It's not going to happen to me, because it's not true. It will happen to you.
Exactly.
Especially in the Latino community, high blood pressure, exactly the same thing, hypertension, and it's all diet.
And you know what, Augustine, the thing is, the one thing that we did is that's what they looked at. They looked at the crossover. So African Americans and Latinos together with that same problem is because of their diet, not exercising, you know, it's just hand in hand. It really is. And so when we do our, and with MOTTEP, the one good thing I really liked about them, when they said minority, they talked about everybody: Blacks, Hispanics, Asians, Indian,
yes,
you know,
Eastern,
across the board. That's who we were targeting. Those were our minority communities we were targeting. Our biggest groups, of course, that we were able to educate were African Americans and Latinos.
How do you educate them? How do you get them to listen, to at least to try and listen to what you're telling them?
Yeah, you know what? I remember when I'll never forget when I first started. It was very difficult because people, you know, I was born and raised in East Chicago, and I went back to my hometown thinking, hey, I'm going to get people that are going to listen to me because they know me. No, it did not work like that. And so what I ended up doing was I was trying to figure out how can I get them to listen and not say, I'm not interested in that. Oh no, they're going to kill me. They going, you know, there's so many myths out there that we had to combat and talk about. You know, one of them was they'll kill me before my time. If I go to the hospital and they know I'm an organ donor, they're going to kill me and take my organs.
Right.
And then I would have to have a conversation, which we do. We had a lot of conversations back then. And that was, so do you trust your doctor? Yeah. Most of them say, yeah. I've been with my doctor 10 years. I say, so what you're saying is you go to the hospital, your doctor's seeing after you, but he's going to let you die to get your organs, and he's going to lose money because he's losing a patient.
That's right.
Oh. So, you know, you have to have those conversations with people because they're not thinking, or they're listening to what other people are saying, which is not true. And so one of the ways that I really got people interested in listening to me was I said, okay, we're going to have to go about this a different way. I can't just go say, I want to talk to you about organ and tissue donation, because people are like, I don't do that. I'm taking my organs to heaven. No, you're not. But, you know, whatever. So what I started doing was I started saying, hey, I want to talk to you about diabetes or hypertension. How many people in your family have diabetes? How many people in your family have high blood pressure? Do you know what diabetes causes? Do you know how that works on your body? I started talking to them like that. And then I would go into, you know, the number one reason people need kidney transplants is because of diabetes. And then people started listening to me. That's when they started listening, because now they want to know, well, how can I do this? How can I stop this? And what I tell them is doing what your doctor tells you to do, especially if you have diabetes. You can't stop it if there's no cure, but you can slow it down.
That's right. That's right. Control it. You know, and in my family, both my mom and dad had hypertension, and my dad had diabetes. And towards the end, he was now on insulin. And so, you know, I've seen, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I see that when they're on insulin, they take care less of themselves. They eat the sweets. They do, oh, I got the shot, I'll just shoot myself the insulin.
That's what they think. Yeah. That's just like people with high blood pressure. Same thing. They're taking the medicine, so they're saying, oh, I can eat what I want. No, that's the purpose of you taking this medication. And then the other thing is they'll take the medication and then they wonder why their blood pressure is still high. Why they have to take another medication. Why you have to take another medication? Because you're not changing anything else. You have to change your behavior.
Yep. I have a friend on 10 pills. One to monitor the other, to counteract the other one, to this one, to that. 10 pills a day.
Keisha says prevention is key as well.
Absolutely.
It is. Prevention is the key. And see, you know, I just really think that if we continue doing that, but we need help out in the communities. You know, the only hospital that I know in the area that still does outreach, and I mean consistently, is East Chicago, is St. Catherine's. Methodists used to do it all the time. They don't do it as much as they used to. They do every now and then they'll do a workshop, but I mean out in the community. You have to get out in the community. You have to. And it's very important that you do that. And we're not doing that. We're just letting our people, and then with the changes in everything now, everything's so expensive. People, you know, now that they saying pandemic relief is being cut, just watch and see what happens.
Yeah.
Watch and see what happens. It's horrible.
It is. And the awareness of what's happening, the awareness of how we take care of our bodies, and now because of the pandemic, the social, emotional, so now how we take care of our minds, right? It's so important. And it's all about what we put in us. And some of the food causes cancer. Too much of some things can get you sick. I think the ignorance, I think the fear is what kills you faster than the actual illness.
Well, you know, and then you run across people that say, well, you have to die from something. I hear that a lot.
Wait.
You have to die from something.
I might as well die happy, die doing what I like to do. I don't think that's how it works, because when your organs start shutting down, I'm going to ask you, well, how's that going?
Right, exactly.
Right. And who's going to take care of you when you start breaking down?
Exactly.
And that's, to me, I'm sorry, real quick. To me, that is being selfish, because you don't want to take care of yourself. So when you start breaking down, you're going to become a burden to whoever it is, your family members and that. And it's like, well, mom, dad, brother, sister, you should have been taking care of yourself. Because now, if I can't take care of you, you're going to end up being in a home or a hospital or something. And then your life is going to be even more miserable because you didn't prevent something.
And that's true. That's true. You know, it's like I said, it's sad that even with us doing a lot of the free services that we do, because all of our services are free, you know, and we do our fundraisers. Like now we're doing our popcorn fundraisers, and we do different things in order to raise money. We have some grants, you know, to do different things. But the sad thing is you have to bribe people to come and check on themselves to a free event. You have to bribe them to do it. You know, oh, we're going to give you a gift, or we're going to feed you, or we're going to do something. And that's sad, but it's true.
And sometimes they won't even come. They say, hey, can you bring it to me?
Exactly. Right.
I've been there. I've done that. But you know, Here we are trying to bring them into a room with information that they need. And how do we get them? Let's bring some food.
Right. That's right.
And
That's
just
true.
wanting to care enough for yourself should
For
be
yourself.
sufficient.
Yeah.
And I think because we lack self-love.
Yeah.
We don't love ourselves enough to say, I'm going to go listen to Miss Sheila, or better yet, I'm going to join her class. Now, this morning, I was blessed to see some young ladies. There were about 16, 17 of them exercising, working out. Now, the hero here, Sheila, how long have you been doing that class?
I've been doing that class since 2011.
Wow.
Look at that.
2011.
You know
And
what?
you know,
I'm sorry,
it's
go ahead.
it's funny because when I started that class, I started to get someone else to do the class just under our umbrella. And I said, no, 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 you have to do it so that you can stay busy. So that's what I did. So we started that exercise program in 2009. Our first location was in East Chicago at Heritage Hall.
Wow, you
And
remember
then,
that. Heritage
yeah,
Hall.
and then 2 years later, we came to the Prusen Center in Maryville, which now we're at the Dean and Barbara White Center. The class in East Chicago is at the Pastrick Branch Library in East Chicago. So,
But what I saw today really blessed me. And I'm glad that I did do a short video going live, because other women now know I can go and make friends. I don't have to sit at home by myself feeling sorry for myself because now I got to do everything myself because I'm at home, or my husband's passed, or my husband's not well either. What do I do with my time? An idle's mind is the devil's workshop, you know.
mhm.
And so in your class, it may only be 2 days a week, but it's something to look forward to. And I wanted to ask a couple of the ladies there, do you look forward to this class? It looked like they were having fun. Which I was like on the live, well, if they're taking care of yourself, what's wrong with us? Why aren't we?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Well, and it's funny you say that. I wish you could have asked them, because let me tell you, they would have told you yes, because they were bugging me while we were out. When are we coming back? I said, we can do it online. No, no, no. They want to do it in person. So actually, we just came back last June, I think it was. We started back last June, and they were so excited. Because for that class, even though it's geared towards senior exercise, because it's low aerobics, stretching, and that kind of thing, it's open to anybody 18 years and over. And let me tell you one thing, you weren't there for the first part of that class. You should have been, so you could see the way they move.
I will be there for the first part next time.
Look, we've had some 30 and 40-year-olds come in there, and they said, I thought this was a senior class. And I said, I know. But they are very excited to be there. You're absolutely right. It's also about socialization, because they have friends, they've met new friends, they brought people there with them. So it's very important, very important.
That's why they want to do this class in person, not online, because they want to socialize.
Right. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. And so,
No,
Sheila, since you are the hero and we're celebrating you, how does that make you feel? In looking back at all that you've accomplished, all that you've done in the community, for the community, and being that big advocate for being healthy and knowing about having a healthier lifestyle. How has that made you feel?
It makes me feel good when I know that people are happy, they getting good information from us, and they enjoy being around us. And it just makes me feel good to know that I can help, and I have helped someone. Let me tell you a quick story. This is one that really touched my heart years ago. And I remember telling my board this. We did a screening in Hammond, at the Ophelia Steen Center. And we were doing keep screenings, the kidney screenings. Mm-hmm. And so this gentleman, it was quite a few people that got the testing done. And let me tell you, probably a week or two after that, this guy called me on the phone, and he was thanking me and thanking me and thanking me. And I said, okay, for what, sir? He said that through that screening, they found out he had early stages of cancer.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't stop crying.
Wow.
And I said, this is why we do this, because you never know. You just don't know. You really don't know. But it's all about trying to help as many people as you can when you can.
That's right. And it's so important. It's so important. And it is a blessing to be a blessing. You have blessed many people in the community, more than you probably know, Sheila, because they may not have said anything to you. But I have seen it throughout the years. Even when you do the walk, is that the 5K walk, or is it for in memories of someone? I'm trying to remember what.
Oh, yeah, it was a
3K. Okay. Just that was enough to know that it's something so easy, but yet it's so hard to make that decision to do. Go out and walk. Something simple and easy. Go out and walk. I love walking because I get to see nature. I get to see even the weeds look pretty. Okay. I mean, you get to admire the beauty, but you're also taking care of you, right? Now, tell our listeners, and we want to thank you all. You can comment if you want here, and Sheila will respond. Paloma, we will pray for your family, most definitely. Janice, thank you so much for joining us, and Keisha and everyone else that's out there that's not commented yet. Let us know you're watching. Let us know where you're from, and share these videos, because it's not about me. It's not about Agustin. We're celebrating heroes. And I'm gonna ask Sheila also. First of all, she's gonna talk about that banquet. The testimonies have touched my heart, where I think we don't have a dry eye in the room when we had, or I mean, I'm not part of it directly anymore like that. But tell us a little bit about that, Sheila.
Well, when we, especially some time ago, when you were involved, we had when we did our banquets, and then we would have testimonials from people that have received transplants, or maybe somebody that had donated a transplant. Very moving. And the reason we did that is because we wanted people to see, especially in the minority community, that our people were donating, because they always said, and they were receiving, because that was one of the biggest things. They said, well, why should I donate? It's not going to go to my family. Yeah. And I would say that's not true. You don't know who you can be, who you may help, and you don't know if ever, God forbid, it may happen to you. So, it was very important, I thought, for us to do those testimonials, because people really, they take those to heart for sure.
Yeah. I mean, when you realize what you've done and the magnitude of that you've changed someone's life is huge, because it's not only affecting the recipient, but the entire family.
That's right.
Yes. Sheila, what's the average age of a donor and a recipient? I'm just trying to get a sense of, your recipients, I'm sure it's usually, it could be anybody. I'm just curious on the age and of the donors.
Well, it's number one, there is no age. I mean, once you get to like your 70s or 80s, of course, they're going to look at that. It may not happen, but it has happened. People that age, 70 years old, have received transplants. So the thing about transplants, people don't understand. You can sign up to be an organ donor. Does not mean you're going to be an organ donor.
Correct.
because it depends on your health. It depends on you. It depends on how much you weigh. It depends on your health issues. So people don't realize just because you sign that license and say you want to be, does not mean you're going to be a donor.
Thank you
right.
for educating.
You got to qualify, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
And so,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Agustin. Go ahead.
I was going to say thank you for educating us on that, because like you said, people say, well, I want to sign up, but you still have to be, again, you have to be healthy. You can't just let yourself go say, oh, well, I'm going to get a transplant anyways.
Right. And, you know, it's funny because I know several people that have become donors for loved ones or friends, and they did not realize all of the blood work they had to go through. If they were overweight, before they could donate, they had to lose so much weight, you know, in order for them to qualify, in order to be a donor.
And maybe not even match.
Well, they check that initially through blood, but in order, if you're a match and you want to be a donor, you have to be healthy. You can't have high blood pressure, hypertension. You know, you can't be overweight, because then they'll say, you know, what happens if you need it? Because especially if you have high blood pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really care for yourself, treat yourself better, feed your body with nutrients, change your diet. What I've seen a lot in our community is we don't do anything until something happens. We're not proactive. Right. It's more reactive.
We're not proactive. That's
late.
Right. Yeah,
it's a little too late now. Now you've already ruined your kidneys.
Yeah.
Now you got to be on that list. Now, speaking of that list, Sheila, tell us, you have helped, and I know this because I have actually sent some people your way, and I'm sure others has as well, that they need to get on a waiting list. How does that work?
Well, to get on the waiting list, you have to go, it's through your doctor. It'll be through your nephrologist.
Okay.
That's who would get you on the list. Nobody else can get you on the list. It's your physician. And in Indiana, you can get on, depending on your physician. You can get on in Indiana, you can get on in Wisconsin, you can get on in Chicago. You can be on more than one waiting list.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I did not know that. I did not know that. Sheila, what does a day look like in your shoes? What is it like to live a day of Sheila George's life?
A day of Sheila George's life. Busy.
I hear you, but busy what? I mean, just go through a day, what it looks like, because see, people need to know what a hero does. And you are a hero, okay?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but you know, I don't think I'm no hero. So, but I appreciate it.
Because you have been keeping this organization alive. Yes, it's teamwork. The board.
It is teamwork.
To the board, to the committees, people that have been volunteering. It takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a team to move forward. But Sheila, you were the founder, and here you are still today. You're not done, okay? God's not done with you yet. We got to put people out in the light. I know you're not that type of person, but today is your day, and I'm celebrating you, okay? You like it or not? We're celebrating you, okay? Women's Month, okay? So we are making history. Sheila has made history, 20 plus years. Sheila, you don't only just do this as far as the organization. I just want to read a little bit about her bio, guys, because otherwise she won't tell you. She has served as a board member in the following organizations: the Lupus Foundation of Northwest Indiana, American Diabetes Association African American Executive Advisory Council, the Gary NAACP, American Society of Multicultural Health and Transplant Professionals, the Illinois Donate Life Coalition, and Faith Health Initiative. And of course, currently she is the NAACP State Health Chair.
Wow.
Okay. She wouldn't have told you that. And I just because I know. So that's why I had to read that.
And still manages a family.
She got a husband to take care of. Robert, where's Robert? No. But she has been active and involved. you know, many times we meet people that sit on boards just to say they sit on boards. But I appreciate when it's an active board member. And I will tell you that every board member at Multicultural Wellness Network is an active board member. They have to. There's no choice.
That's right. Our board is not.
How many hours do you have to put in?
Our board is definitely a working board, and we make sure anybody that wants to join the board, we tell them that this is a working board. So, and that has worked well for us because we've got a lot done. We still have a lot to go, and I'm just so excited that I have the board that I have. Keisha's right. This is her second job. She tells me that all the time. And the other thing she always tells me is, why won't you let me quit? No.
Well, Keisha, I somehow got away. So
she sure did. She snuck out on me.
But I'm still here, even though not as direct. But I just, you know, want to let the audience know that there's a way. There is a resource always out there. MOTTEP is national. Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program. You know, it took me a minute to say it without getting tongue-tied.
I know.
Without getting tongue-tied, okay? Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program. That's MOTTEP. Right. It is a national organization. I know that some of you are watching from other states. Get involved. You know, become an organ donor. Become a blood donor. You know what? But first of all, you got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your health to make sure that your organs are functioning, that you don't get diabetes, that you don't get hypertension, because then your heart doesn't work as well. Then you got CHF, then you got COPD. Now your lungs aren't working well. So when you pass, what's working? What's functionable? What can you donate, or what can your family donate? Now, that's that little heart in your license. I like that little heart on my license. And Sheila's out there putting this information in different kiosks, different clinics. As she said, she works with hospitals. So we're going to have to bring eChicago back and saying, hey, what's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Right?
Not in Chicago.
Methodist. Gary, eChicago's who's active. My bad. We need to talk to Matthew Doyle and say, hey, you need to be more involved. Now you saw.
Well, I think that's getting ready to change. I was at a meeting the other day, and I think that's one of the things they were talking about. So hopefully that is going to, you know, come to fruition, that they are going to really get back out there again. I hope so, because the communities need it.
Because you know what? They don't want me to say what I see and what I know.
No, they don't. They don't want you to say it. No.
And you know what? I already had a one-on-one meeting with the CEO of Methodist.
I'm like, they don't want you to say it, Eve. No, don't say it.
I said it behind closed doors because I said, I need you to know this to help our community.
Right.
These are the disparities, and you don't even know what's happening in your own house.
Yeah.
You need to know this because, you know, I'm going to speak on behalf of my non-English speaking communities.
That's right. And you should.
You know,
if I don't do it, who will, right?
That's right.
It's not you, who? And then if not now, when?
Yeah.
One of the things that they can do to get out to the community is put these 30-second infomercials together and put it on Instagram, send it out by email or even text message to their recipients. I'm sorry, to their patients, because they have everybody's information, because they're going to send you a bill, you know, somehow or another. So
this is the problem with that, though. Not everybody is on the internet.
Nope.
That's what we found.
That's why
in our
it could be
community.
by a text message.
But this is what we found in our communities.
They still got flip phones, okay, or home
this
phones.
is really what we found in our communities. They are not tech savvy. They do not do text messages. They do not do internet. They do not do Zoom. We have to go to them.
Okay.
Yep.
Now there are some that we've worked with, like a lot of my seniors that are in my class, Eve, the exercise class. Now they can do Zoom now, some of them. And so we're working toward that, but there's still too many. And let's not even talk about our non-English speaking.
Yeah, that's even more of a challenge.
It's not going to happen.
No, we have to really go back to grassroots. We still have
That's
that type of
it.
community in our
Yeah.
region. And because we are involved with them, we are at
Yeah.
the forefront, we see these disparities. We
That's
see
right.
the non-educated families, parents,
Yeah.
that now
Absolutely.
grandparents are taking care of their grandchildren and they don't even speak the language. So now the
That's right.
grandchild is stepping up to the plate. Kudos
Right.
to them. I was one of those kids.
Right.
And this is what we have to let the leaders know. Hey,
Exactly.
you got to talk their language.
Yep.
They're
You have
not
to come
reading.
to them.
They're
You
not
have to come
writing.
to them.
You want
Yeah.
us to wait on them to come? No, you got to go to them. They got to
That's right.
see you out there
That's right.
before they trust you. You
Oh,
know,
thank you. That
okay.
is so true. That is so. I've said this over time and time again. Like I said, I'm from East Chicago. It took me 2 years. They knew me 2 years before I could really get them to really trust me, because you know why? People come and people leave.
Yeah.
They get what they want and they leave.
Yeah.
They're not really there to help the community. And that's what people see all the time. So it's very important that you come and you show that you care and you're concerned, not just about what you're bringing to them, but about what they want and what they are about.
Exactly.
You know, we have to learn to listen to the other person too.
Listen to their needs.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where some clinics, some hospitals fail at, is to listen to their needs, to know what they need to bring to them.
Right. And let me say this, Eve, you were talking about taking care of your body. I want people to stop saying, I'm going on a diet, because a diet is not going to help you. Right now we're doing this lifestyle makeover. And what I'm teaching them is the group that's doing it with us right now. And I forced my board to do it too. I don't know how well they're doing, but what I told them is, what I say to my group is, you can't go on a diet. What you are doing is changing your lifestyle,
right?
Changing behavior. Because what's going to happen if you go on that diet? Once you get off that diet, what happens? You gain double the weight.
So you go done
unless you change your behavior, change your lifestyle, because this is the way you need to eat or act the rest of your life, not just for 6 months.
That's right. And the thing about it is that people that are not being proactive, that are not being preventative, now will be forced to change their lifestyle when something happens. I mean, the doctor will tell you can't eat this now, you can't eat that now. You've now had surgery, you had your stomach cut or intestines cut or whatever the case may be. And now guess what? You can't have this, you can't have that, you can't eat at night. You're forced to change that lifestyle.
Yep. That's true.
Some people are so ignorant that they don't change. I know somebody that had a triple bypass and went back to the same eating habits prior to his triple bypass.
Yep.
Ignorance, and you know what?
Some people are going to do that, and there's nothing you can do. It's just like a person smoking. Unless they are ready to stop, you can talk and talk and talk. It's not going to happen.
No, I'll pray for them.
It's the same thing with food. Food is an addiction too. And people just have to learn. And people say, well, I'm not giving up that. You don't have to give it up. You have to, it's what I tell my group. I say, look, if you know potato chips are a problem with you, why would you go buy a family-sized bag of potato chips and bring it in your house? Right. I mean, really, you're going to eat them till they're gone. Why would you do that? Because you're not trying. If you really are trying, and I'm not saying don't have the chips, what I'm saying is you go buy a small bag of chips and bring them to the house. So you still have your chips, but not that family size bag, or because they were on sale, you got two.
It's all about discipline. You
You
know,
know,
we have to discipline ourselves. Stop eating late at night.
but you know what? It's hard, Eve. And I tell them, I know it's hard. So you do it a step at a time, but you do it. That's the thing. It's all here. It's in your,
That's
you have
right.
to change your attitude.
That's right. That's
And
it. It's all in that attitude.
some
Change
people
that
don't want to
mindset.
change their attitude.
Oh no, they're used to being their old ways. Well, their
Yeah,
old ways isn't working now in the new days. It
right.
really
Yep.
isn't.
They
You
want
know.
that double cheeseburger with everything
Yeah.
at 10:30 at night.
Wait, let me tell you something funny since you said cheeseburger. A few years ago, I used to go to the school all the time and do the to the one on Ridge Road, and they always have a event there for the kids, and so I would have my table set up, and I would be talking about nutrition because I do nutrition classes too. So I would have my big old thing of fat on the table, and I'd have, just different things. And then I have them come up and do the little quiz and, tell me what they want to eat. And so, they do the cheeseburger, the fries, blah, 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 blah. So I'll never forget this time. This young lady came up to the table and she said, well, I eat cheeseburgers. I eat them 3 times a day. I said, okay. I said, you're young. You're young. She's a teenager. I said, you're young. I said, but let me ask you this. I said, does high blood pressure, diabetes, or any of that run in your family? Yeah, my grandma has diabetes. My mom has high blood pressure. I said, well, let me ask you another question. What does your mom look like? I said, and I'm not trying to talk about your mom or anything, but tell me what your mom looks like. And I'm saying that because, you need to start watching what you do put in your body now. I say, because if you don't, just look at the women in your family. What do they look like? You know what happened? She fell out on the floor and was crying.
I mean, that's a red flag right there.
She
And
was
to give
crying
them that.
and like I told her, I wasn't meaning to trying to upset her, but I was trying to say, look, you have to be realistic.
Absolutely.
3 cheeseburgers and fries a day and milkshakes, that's not healthy.
Nope.
And
it's not.
It's going to be a problem, not now, but later in your life. It's going to be a problem.
Catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
It'll catch up to you. We take our life for granted. We have a few minutes left, Sheila. I need you to promote everything that you need to promote for MOTTEP, for Multicultural Wellness Network.
Okay, so this month we're doing a nutrition class at Lake County Public Library. We did one yesterday, and the last one is next Wednesday. Lake County Public Library, 1 p.m. Our health summit, annual health summit is coming up. It's April the 15th, and it's going to be at IUN Conference Center, Library Conference Center in Gary, and that starts at 9. It's going to be great. So there's still time to register if you want to register, or you can call the number that's on your screen, and I'll make sure I get the information to you. The other thing we have on April the 30th, we have a fundraising bazaar that's going to be going on. It's a scholarship fund for a friend of ours of the board, Patricia Gaddis, that passed away last year from cancer. And we want to keep her memory alive. She was an awesome nurse practitioner. And we really want people we need good nurses. So we're going to be trying to give scholarships to kids that are in school or going to college for nursing and the healthcare profession. And then the other thing that we're doing, Eve and Augusta, is we have an asthma grant that we're doing asthma screenings and coming to your house, checking to see what things you maybe need to get rid of or take care of because of the asthma. Find out what's causing your issues and trying to help you. So we're looking for people to sign up for that program. It's free to them. They'll get some incentives, of course. You have to give out incentives.
Oh, yeah.
But we're definitely looking for people to sign up. We're going to be signing people up at our health summit next month, but we're looking for people to sign up even before then. So all they have to do is call our number on the screen, and we will give them all the details. I think that's all I have. And I appreciate you allowing me this time. Thank you very much.
Yes, and we will be posting the links on all the social media platforms.
Okay.
And yes, thank you, Ms. Keisha. She said visit the Facebook page. That's right.
Right. That's right. Keisha, get on your job.
She's doing her job even while she's
That's right. That's right.
Any other questions you have for her, Agustin? No, I think that was quite a bit. That was quite a bit. Very informative. You know, I loved it because, you know, and I'm sure for the audience that they weren't aware of a lot of things and a lot that goes on behind the scenes of organ donations and organ recipients. And well, you know what? I do have one question, and that just came to my mind.
Okay.
Because of all the shootings and everything, are you getting a lot of organ donors from these recipients that don't make it, unfortunately, that don't make it from gunshot wounds and that?
Now, see, I don't deal on that end. That would be your organ procurement organization.
Okay.
And then it would depend on the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're actually organ donors, right?
Right.
And
right.
I hope that in bringing awareness here and bringing the light to our hero here, Miss Sheila George, has actually touched your heart and changed your mind about being an organ donor. Look, I look at it this way. I consider myself pretty healthy. I can change a few things, less coffee, although I only drink one or two a cup a day, not all day. Gives me heartburn, so I can't drink it as, you know, I'm not a drinker, all day drinker. We got to watch our intake. It's all in moderation. And I hope that you start caring more for yourself, especially if you are an organ donor. As Ms. Sheila has mentioned, you have to stay healthy to avoid becoming diabetic. Because, you know, and the thing that gets me is when you go through a physical and they ask you about your history of your family. Well, your mother and your father had all this. You know what? They have it, but I don't, and I won't.
Right.
I won't. You know, I can give you a whole list of what they had, and you know that I've went through a lot with their health and declining, both taking turns. One day was my mom, the next day was my dad, or they were taking turns being in the hospital, and I learned a lot through their infirmities, through their diseases. But I learned so that it won't happen to me. I have to whatever I can do to be proactive and live more healthier. First of all, it starts with your attitude.
Absolutely.
Your mind, how you think. So as a person thinketh, so is he. And if you see your parents and they're overweight, that shows you that something you need to do different. And parents, don't allow your children to become overweight. Don't.
Especially some of these old school grandmothers. You better finish that plate. You too skinny. You need to eat more. Blah blah blah. You ain't taking care of your kids.
I have seen parents that so their kids won't have a fit. They give them what they want. Right. And now they are overweight. Now they have high blood pressure. Now they're borderline diabetic.
Yes. Pop, juice, all that sugar juice.
All that sugar. Yeah. So Sheila, any last minute advice you want to tell our audience?
Self-care. We all need to do self-care. You know, like, I don't know, those of you that have flown, when you're in the airplane, what did they tell you first? They tell you put the oxygen on you before you reach for your child or your loved one. It's the same thing here. Self-care is very, very important. It
sure is. And on that note, for those of you that just chiming in, the website is MWN MOTTEP. Is it MOTTEP.org? But I saw, you know, Keisha put MWNMOTTWP.org. She didn't have her classes on. Get involved. Look at MOTTEP to see if it's in your community. MOTTEP is a national organization, Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program. Look it up. Get involved in the community. Be like another hero, okay? And Sheila, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Keisha said, be quiet. You know I'm going to speak here. Come on, Keisha.
Right.
Thank you so much to our hero of this show today. We appreciate your time and teaching us and bringing awareness continuously in the community. We appreciate you, Sheila.
Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Esther. Take care.
Bye now.
Keep rocking it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Wow. See why I do what I do? Because it's just
I know
not enough people know, you know, and if you know something, share it. If you know something, you see something, you do something about it, and you say something, folks. Wow, Augustine, this was a great show today. Great interview. Hope you guys enjoyed the information, but most of all, enjoyed our hero and all that she does as well. She is a servant leader in the community, and she's been doing this since 1996, if not longer than that. But you know, thank you to the board as well that has been there serving. I think I served maybe, I don't know, 6-8 years. I don't know. You know, to also bring awareness to the Latinos, to the Spanish speaking families in our community. So get involved, people. You know, don't sit at home. And if you want to join this class, if you're in the Northwest Indiana area, I love seeing what I saw. They were fellowshipping. They were getting, you know, talking to each other. And especially if you have a mom and she's just sitting at home, take her to that class twice a week. You'd be surprised.
Right. It's a good way to get out and socialize. And then they can get, you know, you socialize and you get tips from others on how to better manage your life and your health.
You know, have a favorite pastime to be with your girlfriend, working out, doing some type of aerobics, some type of dancing with the music and stretching. You know, it gets their body in motion and warm up their muscles so that they don't get stiff. Because when your mom or your grandma's sitting at home, just sitting there, they're getting stiff. Okay. That's right. And we also have to lead by example, folks. We have to do what we want others to do as well. So on that note, Agustin, it's been real. It's been fun. We got to go. We got to run.
We got to run.
So stay tuned. Hey, I keep pointing the wrong way. Hey, we got to have a guest coming up next week. And of course, that is none other than the Lake County prosecutor, Bernard Carter, my dear friend, Bernie Carter. And for those of you that know of a hero that want to share their story or for them to come on, our information is right there at the bottom of the screen, thefaceofahero.com, or call us at 773-809-0106 and leave us a message.
Yes, we want to hear your story.
Right. We want to hear your story.
We want to know who your hero is.
And, you know, heroes isn't all just first responders, and you guys know that already.
That's right.
You know, it could be a teacher too, because some teachers go out of their way and become a parent for their student, and you know, they don't get paid enough on that. So
yeah, we just had a great hero, Sheila George, on our line, and she wasn't a first responder,
but she's a first responder for awareness. That's what I tell you.
Absolutely.
She's responding to the need. She's putting the information out there in different locations so that the information is out, and you know, she has several classes. So go to the website, get information, get informed, and most of all, get involved with your own life. Change that lifestyle by changing your mindset. And on that note, Agustin, we gotta go.
I gotta go.
So nos vemos. I'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
What is that? Good night, Bob.